Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear us. But today we are back with the second episode of the CFR game show. It's the 11th of June, which means it's actually CFR's 1 year anniversary today.
Whoa.
Yeah, the CFR project.
There.
Thank you.
Happy to sing it.
The CFR project is 1 year old. We started on 11th of June, 2021. But anyway, today is about sci-fi. It's the one with sci-fi, and I am joined here by Vedant and by Mihir. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves so the audience knows who the guests for today's episode are?
Sure. Vedant, do you want to go first?
Hi, I'm Vedant. Vedant the capitalist.
Varun.
Vedant.
We call him Varun sometimes.
Yeah.
Is that all?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm Mihir. I was the host yesterday. There's not much else to say about me. And then I'm an enigma.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Vedant, Varun, and Mihir.
Yeah.
I am Bhavya. I'm going to be the host for the sci-fi episode. I am also the CFR project lead, which is absolutely amazing. But anyway, let us actually get started. Before we move on, we are joined by our expert guest today, and we have Hazik in the Zoom call right now. Hazik, can you hear us? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing today?
Doing really good today. It's really hot inside the studio right now. We wish we had more air
We're
conditioning.
all gonna start.
Oh, yeah, no, it's pretty hot here too. So
Would you like to
Yeah.
kind of introduce yourself to everyone who's watching us right
Yeah.
now?
yeah, so my name is Hazik Kazi. I am 16 years old. I am part of the Airvis Foundation. I am currently living in Connecticut in the US. But as of right now, I'm in the Mexico for I'm in Mexico, not the Mexico. Anyways, I'm in Mexico for a research project, and yeah, I'm just so excited to be here.
That is really awesome. Do you want to talk a bit about the Elvis Foundation quickly? Maybe tell us.
Oh, right. So
Yeah.
So yeah, the Airvis Foundation is something that I started when I was in the fourth grade when I invented my ship called Airvis. It is a smart ocean cleaner which I came up through this project for this project in my school. I gave a TED talk on that, um, and then through the ship, I realized that I also was really passionate about awareness work and education, which is why I started the foundation to try to educate the youth about the dangers of plastic and how they can change the mindset to use plastic in a much more responsible manner. So
Yeah,
we
that's
do initiatives. Yeah, so we do initiatives like workshops. We also have a zero waste marketplace where we sell eco-friendly products. And we also have a few talk shows like For What It's Earth, where we talk about the state of the world and how we play a role in its future. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to us about that. And thank you so much for being here. The Elvis Foundation has been very close to CFR. And so, it's really cool that we can kind of interact on this platform and see where this episode goes. All right. So without any further ado, let me just talk to you a bit about the CFR socials, because I was informed by Mihir that all the hosts are contractually obligated to do so.
Yes.
You can follow us on Instagram at CFR Project. You can join our Discord server. That's where you can kind of play the games. We'll be having an auction today. So that's going to be really exciting. It's going to be mock, so you don't actually need to spend any money. But yeah, and then we have a LinkedIn, we have a YouTube channel. You can just search up the CFR Project, and that should take you right to those. All right. Anyway, let us get started with the first tall talk. All right. And I'm going to basically play a video. It's about 2-3 minutes long. And there's a question at the end that we are going to try to attempt to discuss. And you both have already seen it. So
Yes, we have.
let's see if you can entertain the audience with your viewpoints. Varun the capitalist and Mihir. All right. So let's go ahead and let's play the tall talk. Can you guys, is it visible? Backstage tech team, thank you. What are they called? Tech support. Tech support. All right. Oh, I should share my audio as well. Give me a second. All right, there we go.
Advocates for social justice.
Is that the right one? I don't even, okay. There we go.
Tatooine, the desert planet home to Star Wars' famous Luke Skywalker. Scorching suns, lacking water, it's no surprise this planet was a haven for smugglers and criminal activity. But it also brought us the iconic binary sunset scene, where Luke looks out at two setting suns, longing for a life beyond working on a moisture farm, hoping for destiny beyond this planet. And it's a stance many on Earth are taking too. Musk wants to colonize Mars, Bezos wants tourists in space, and Branson wants to commercialize space travel. Explorative human behavior led us out of Africa and into the continents of the world, and now it's going to lead us to other worlds. Many see space travel as a means to secure our species, to escape fatal asteroids, or maybe even climate change. Luke wanted adventure, but he might have equally wanted to leave the raging corruption of his infested planet behind. And no one would blame him. There's no way a simple farm boy could overthrow Tatooine's numerous crime syndicates and restore its broken civilization. Wanting to escape is only natural. But we can't say the same about the human race. Our famines, droughts, heat waves, and rising seas are very much a consequence of human behavior. Do we leave the Earth to its fate? Do we let it stand alone? If there is no future on our planet, if overconsumption leaks lakes dry, would we be so wrong to leave it? Biological evolution is selfish after all. We're not really the ones causing this problem on a massive scale. The accountability of climate change falls upon large industrial polluters. Why should individuals bear the social costs built by corporations? Leaving the Earth in pursuit of cleaner planets doesn't seem like cowardice. It seems like liberation. Yet, there is a problem: economic inequality. The people who can afford to live on Mars are the ones most responsible for this problem. If Luke didn't have Obi-Wan, didn't meet Han Solo, R2-D2, or C-3PO, it seems unlikely that his stare into the binary sunset would have been anything more than a dream. Christopher Nolan's Interstellar puts the common population at heads with dusty storms and famine. Crops are dead, education is failing, and public health concerns are rampant. Plan A and Plan B. Lifting an entire population into orbit, or a dark revelation that the protagonist's team will need to give birth to a new generation of humankind and leave its ancestors on Earth behind. They leave because they must. There is no other choice. If our world comes to heads with the same problem, do we stay and suffer the consequences of our actions? Or do we leave? Do we have an ethical, a moral obligation to fix before we flee? In Disney's WALL-E, humans have long departed the surface of the planet. They were too lazy to fix the pollution, but they came back too, because of a moral obligation, an ethical responsibility to plant the last sapling. We could stay because it's our social responsibility to fix inequality. We could leave because there is no fixing our economic structures that flourish on natural exploitation. We could stay because we have hope for change, or we could leave because we want to protect our species. We could stay because this is our home. We must protect it at all costs.
Before we start with the discussion,
Please stop sharing your screen.
I should probably stop sharing my screen. Before we start with the discussion, I just want to say that took so long to edit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we spent that long on the other 12.
I don't think.
As you will see.
Yeah, as you will see, the other talk is not as well edited. Okay, Hazek, I will come to you just after we've got the positions of our guests on set clarified. So, Vedant, Varun, do we stay and do we fix climate change, or do we fix all of our social problems, or do we leave the Earth behind and pursue other planets? What is your stance?
Well, I think at this point, it's more of a matter of, well, to be quite frank, survivability. It's not an option that we necessarily have. We're looking at what's the best way to preserve the human race. And at that point, morals and ethics kind of go out the window when we're looking at trying to preserve what we have. And I think going to Mars gives us two options. It means that we can either A, settle on Mars, and then, or we can improve our situation on Earth. But that gives us two different paths that we can switch to based on how we're doing. I think staying on Earth is basically taking a massive gamble because, hey, if we do well, we do really well. And we manage to live and we manage to preserve this beautiful world that we have. But if we mess up, we're all dead. Quite literally, actually.
All right. So you're saying we leave, basically.
I think
We
we
have
should
to.
leave, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there is no other choice. We just have to leave, basically, at this point.
I think we should embrace both as options.
Okay. Mihi, would you?
I completely disagree with that. I think that when it comes, I disagree with Vedant when he says that going to Mars leaves the option of saving the Earth, possible. I disagree with that because it's not about the choice about, whether we just go to Mars with the snap of a finger. It's about what science we dedicate our money to. It's about what we pursue, what we study, what we learn effectively about the world. And so I think that it is one option or the other. Either we dedicate our resources to trying to fix Earth, or we dedicate them to trying to get to Mars. It's one of these two options, and neither one leaves us free to choose, essentially. I do think that saving the Earth should be our concern over going to Mars, just because it seems more viable, seems more financially equal. And yeah, it just seems like the responsibility which we've undertaken by simply existing, by being one of Earth's children.
All right. So your stance is we stay on Earth because
Yes,
it's our responsibility essentially to fix it. I
Yes.
will get back to you. I know you have a lot to say, but before we do that, Hazik, I would also like to get your perspectives on the tall talk and whether you think that we should really be pursuing leaving the Earth, or whether we have like a responsibility, as he said, to fix the problems here.
Okay, yeah. So first off, the tall talk was really, really good. Congratulations on that, you guys. And for the question at hand, like I think that again, like what Mahir said, it comes to option of what we can spend our resources on, because we have a finite amount of resources. But it also comes down to the moral dilemma. Like, should we actually do we owe this to the Earth for making it our home, having it as our home for many years? So it's like, if you're moving from your house, do you have a moral obligation to clean your house or something like that? So to better it for the next people who come along into that place. So I guess that and of course as far as I know, I think that moving to Mars is a little easier. But honestly, ethically, I'm more towards the ethical side. I think we do have kind of a moral obligation to try to fix the Earth, at least to the best of our ability. Because I mean, we owe it to it, right? And also we are responsible for practically genocide of many, many creatures, right? And even if we do leave the Earth, life will find a way, and we will try to it will build it will life will try to develop in Earth no matter what the conditions are. So while it will fix itself in the long run, I think it is important to try to at least try to fix it.
Okay, so I mean that's really interesting because Mihir and Hazik seem to be kind of pursuing the same ideas and the same stance. So I just want to ask Vedant, are you selfish?
Yes, I think, and I'll go a step further. I think when we are reduced to our true selves, not the one that's being created through this, I mean, many ways
Primal
artificial.
instincts, I suppose,
that-
and
yeah.
getting back to the base of us.
We are selfish, and I think Hazik, you brought up, cleaning up our homes, right? When, for the next person to move in. I completely agree, but here's the difference. It's not a person that's moving in. It's, I mean, the equivalent of entire different species. And do we really owe it to a species? Do we? Because and I think the question here is, would another species do it for us?
Okay, actually, I agree with here. See, I know that there's the entire like moral dilemma and everything. I feel like we should just go to Mars because it's kind of cool.
Fair
And,
enough.
and actually,
I want to live on Mars, right?
My
And
question is, why would we use so many resources, so much money, so much time, so many years, so many scientists, so many disciplines, which could have been diverted to something else?
Mhm.
Would we really spend it all to build a settlement on Mars? Is it worth it to build a tiny little dome or a tiny little village which could house, like, I don't know, maybe 40 people, for the sole purpose of maybe carrying embryos up there and then birthing humans on Mars? Is it worth doing that when our situation won't really change, will it? As a species, we'll still be extremely threatened. Mars will still be a very hostile environment, similar to how Earth is becoming. There will be sandstorms, there will be other challenges, the temperatures, the gases, the air. And it would, for humanity to do something like that, it would take something well beyond. I mean, there's basically no chance of us creating a sustainable civilization there at first go, right? Or immediately. So would it be worth going to Mars if that was the case?
so, but I think what I want to say here is that it's still progress. If we're going to Mars, it's still progress in terms of just innovation. If we stay on Earth, we're just trying to reverse whatever problems we've created. There's less progress or maybe even none. But I think related to that, I want to ask the question to everybody here, maybe even tech support, depending on how interested they are. So I'm going to present 3 different situations to everyone. All right.
tech support is sleeping.
Tech support is sleeping. All right, fantastic. So the first situation is that we require more resources to go to Mars than we need to save ourselves on Earth. The second question is we use the same amount of resources to save ourselves on Mars as Earth. And the last one is we use more resources to save ourselves on Earth than on Mars.
You mean less resources?
No,
Oh, no.
more
Oh,
resources
okay, yeah,
on
yeah.
Earth.
Scenario, yeah.
All right, Hazik, I believe you had something to say. Do you want to quickly let us know your thoughts
Yeah.
on
So I think when we go to Mars, I think there's 2 options. Either we transport the entire human race to Mars, or like we just transport a few embryos to Mars. So I think that like it both has the same result. You're essentially still saving the human race. I mean, assuming everything goes to plan. But on one hand, you're just trying to you're just trying to progress the human race, while like leaving the rest to die practically, and try to fix the problems on Earth, while you have, and then of course you're expending much less resources. I think this is the plan. This is plan B in Interstellar.
Yeah.
And then you have actually transporting literally everyone from the face of the Earth to Mars, which was plan A on Interstellar. So I think that even while transporting, we still have lots of questions to think of, lots of like basically how do we use our resources. And so far humans have been very, very poor decision makers when it comes to that. Just look at climate change, plastic, literally everything. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the issue of
it's
like,
never ending question.
so when you talk about like, saving the human race, for example, right?
Yeah.
As Hazik said, transporting the embryos, which was plan B in Interstellar, right?
Yeah.
Difference between plan A and plan B is how selective it is, right? If you're saving the human race, you don't need to transfer everybody to Mars. You just like take a handful of embryos, grow new babies on the planet.
That's one way of putting it.
And with selectivity, we should also talk about economic inequality, because that was one of the things that we talked about in the talk. You remember? Good job.
Yes, I do. I
You're
paid attention.
We saw that graphic, which was essentially showing how the richest people are the most responsible for climate change. There's no denying that. And there's also the fact that the people who can actually afford to go into space are only the richest, right?
Yes.
When they launch, when was it
Branson.
Virgin Galactic,
Branson, yeah.
Branson, Blue Origin, right?
Yeah.
SpaceX, they're launching people into space.
It's not going to be the poor.
It's not
going
going
to
to,
be
yeah. So it's like going to Mars is a very selective issue. Going anywhere beyond Earth is very selective in terms of who can go. Either tiny babies who will become aliens on new planets, or really rich people, or
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't count as a person. Actually, we should stop saying this because
Also,
Facebook might ban us.
oh shit, our video froze. You know what? We are just prepared for this issue, so don't worry. Technical difficulties, we will just do that. Also, while we are discussing this topic, if the audience could kind of pitch in and talk about what they think about this issue as well, and let us know exactly what their opinions are on going to Mars and not, that would be amazing. Guests, you can continue discussing.
Yeah, I mean, I think let's get back to the scenarios which Vedanta was talking about, right? I think that the first scenario wherein saving the Earth is cheaper than going to Mars, it's fairly simple. We stay on Earth, right? If it's cheaper, it benefits more people. It's, I suppose, more reliable in a sense. Then, of course, we want to stay on Earth. Now, the difficulty comes with the other two scenarios. So I was thinking, let's look at scenario 3 first, right? Scenario 3 is where going to Mars is cheaper than staying on Earth. Would you do it?
We have a person in the Zoom meeting, Stephen, who wants to say something about this. Can tech support stop sitting so close together and actually let him speak?
Hi guys. It's been a while since I was listening to your talk and all, and it's amazing to see this like working together and all. It's like for me, it's like my dream come true. But
Yeah,
just
are you
don't
the
tell
same
anyone.
Stephen? Are you the same Stephen from my math class?
Yeah, I am. I'm the same guy. Same guy. Right. So, I was just thinking. I don't know if you guys watched The Martian. Shout out to Matt Damon. Um, I was just thinking about that, like the fact that that what do you call? Just honestly, it kind of freaks me out. Okay, it slightly freaks me out. Imagine the whole wall of your space station just kind of goes bang, and then you lose all your fruits and vegetables and all that stuff, and he becomes skinny in the end. So what I'm mainly trying to say is it's scary that the fact that like what do you call the situation we're technically in. I mean, imagine the amount of money we have to do to save our planet as well as trying to get to Mars. So when we're going to Mars, right? First, we need to have a oxygen tank. We have to have proper food, and it has to be constant because, like, we have to find a reliable source and then let it spread, right? And like that's the thing. That's what's also scaring me about over here is the fact that since the industrial revolution, at the first couple of years was okay, but then afterwards it started getting intense, intense, intense. And then finally Elon Musk showed up and electric cars showed up. And I read his bibliography about what do you call rockets. It's intense. Like the amount of ships and rockets he had to send, the amount of money he had to send, and thankfully, like due to like I remember he had to bring Tesla into it sometimes and take that money and bring it into SpaceX and the vice versa. So either way, it's like a constant reaction and it's continuing over and over and over again. So like that's what's also freaking me out as well. And yeah, it's crazy. On personally, I think we do have a responsibility to stay on the earth, but it's going to be intense either way if we try to save it or try to go earth, because the more we try to save the earth, the more we can't, like we're trying to save a large amount of people, as well as the more as we're trying to go to Mars, we're trying to get more out of this earth because we need resources and metal to make the rockets in order to go and send 1 billion people to Mars. And then we have to spend even more resource to make from earth to go to Mars to make it renewable so then we can live. So that's what I mean.
I think you brought up two very interesting points that I would like to discuss. The financial aspect, right? The fact that, as you said, going to Mars is not cheap. It's not just that we can do it, as you said in a snap. But fixing climate change is not cheap either. Like we have to like almost decide where we're going to focus our efforts on.
I suppose
Yeah.
that brings us back to the scenario which Vedanta was talking about,
Mhm.
where let's suppose that to bring civilization to Mars and to save the Earth, it would take the same amount of money or approximately the same amount of money. then which option do we choose?
And then Stephen brought up another point, which is the fact that going to Mars isn't enough. We
Yeah,
have to
need
go to Mars,
establish ourselves.
establish ourselves, but also establish ourselves sustainably.
So I don't know if any of
Right.
you have read
Do
the.
it.
I mean, I suppose if we, I mean, unless we want to turn Mars into a second Earth,
Here's what I'm saying. We got 200 years on
Yeah.
Earth, 250.
and then we go on to Mars.
We use up, okay, this sounds bad, right? It sounds bad. But they don't actually like there in the first place.
And again.
All right, we use up Mars's resources. Maybe they've got, I don't know, half the amount that we have. We're looking at 100 right now, 100 years. I mean, within those 100 years, we can still, well, it maybe takes 50 years to get settled in, but in those next 50 years, we can just keep on jumping from planet to planet.
Right,
I mean,
I no.
Very important thing to say.
Yeah, for a moment. But no, so I don't know if any of you have read the book Dune or seen the movie, but one of the I've not seen the movie, but I've read the book, and one of the fundamental things in that is sort of that, okay, so Dune takes place on this desert planet, right? And one of the characters in the book, his sort of life's mission is trying to get Dune's like biosphere to the point where it can support water, where it can support plants, where it can support flora all over the planet, and therefore save a lot of the people on it and improve its civilization vastly. But to do that, it's shown as taking an absurd amount of time and resources, like a multi-generational plan which needs to be followed. Do you think we'd be able to do anything like that on Mars, Karan? I mean, Vedant. I forgot your name was Vedant for a second.
Okay,
I've been meaning to read Dune. It's because the covers just look so cool.
yeah, I've been meaning to read it as well.
You have to read through to like remember his name is Vedant.
No, to like,
To remember. Oh, wow.
how the hell?
There's no Vedant in the book, I can confirm.
I feel like we should have smarter tech support.
Like we should, come on, tech support, what are you doing?
They're literally sleeping right now.
Almost figuratively speaking.
Yeah.
Not literally.
Okay, let's look away from
There
them. I
are
feel like they're
certain-
gonna get mad at us.
Yeah.
They might cut the power.
They could do that, in
I
which
would
case
like
it
to
was
do
nice
that.
seeing you, everyone. Be back. for the
Anyways,
next
go on,
episode.
what were we-
But okay.
Yeah. All right. So
Let's-
I'm gonna have to conclude this discussion in a few minutes. So if you could just kind of,
Last point.
yeah, last points.
I think that ultimately, if we're gonna spend resources, they would be wiser spent on a planet which we already know a lot about, which we're familiar with, which we've evolved with, which is sort of our history. Rather than going to a new planet, which would be riskier and would definitely take a lot more resources and would also unfavorably favor the people who are unfairly favor the people who are richer and therefore have more money. So yeah, those are my viewpoints. Vedant, yours.
Well, I think I definitely agree. We should try to save the Earth and we should try to go to Mars as well. I think it's as long as we can try to follow both paths, we should continue to do so. And then we should evaluate which option is best. Because right now, going to Mars seems
Unlikely.
unlikely. Yeah, unlikely. But I mean, the International Space Station seemed unlikely just, 50 years ago, right? And 50 years.
It was launched 50 years ago.
Were they launched like in the
Like,
1990s?
The first
Yeah,
ever
1990 to
space
30
station.
years.
Oh, yeah,
The first
yeah.
ever space
Yeah.
station, so like, it must have been launched
Oh.
before that, but
I don't know,
either way,
whatever.
Yeah.
point
And then,
stands still. the
and
work
then 50
progress.
years before that, it was like, you're gonna go to space? Are you
The
crazy? And
sci-fi guests and hosts are incompetent with timelines that relate to space.
Isn't
sorry.
that fitting?
Actually, no, 50 years before that, we hadn't even flown before. That's great.
No, we flew for the first time in like the like the
No,
No,
1920.
1904.
Yeah,
1904, yeah.
No, but
I
1904.
actually the maths, you never tell the whole world that.
Our camera keeps pausing. This is horrible.
Oh,
Right,
geez.
so anyway, 50 years before that, they
Yeah.
were like, you can't even fly at this point. So we've got a pretty good progression. I think we should have faith in the human species.
Fair enough, and while Javier fixes the camera, I guess. Hazik, okay, Hazik, yeah, you need to say something too.
Oh, wait, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, well, these are really interesting points. So I think there's not too much background noise. I hope is there.
Little bit, but I think we can hear you for sure.
little bit. Okay, I think I don't think that's too bad at the grand scheme of things. Um, Speaking of the grand scheme of things, um, so I think that like with the concept of um, have you heard of the um, what's it called? Those stages of civilizations. I can't remember the guy's name. Where like you have like the type one civilizations who's colonized the entire planet and fully harvested their resources. The type two civilization who has like completely like efficiently like colonized the solar system and like completely harvested their resources in the in the solar system. And then you have a type three civilization which has like expanded to outside star systems. So like just try to keep on the path to like colonizing Mars. I think that we are like nowhere sufficiently advanced to like scratch the surface. Yes, the Kardashev scale. Yes, that was thanks there. So that's what it's called. The Kardashev scale. It's a measure of how advanced a civilization can get. And us as a civilization, we are really terrible at managing resources. Like completely, we get an F at that. And so I think if we want to progress as further, if we want to progress, even in like trying to fix the Earth or trying to go to Mars, like um, like trying to go to Mars or like sending embryos to Mars, we need to learn how to manage resources, how to make critical decisions, and yeah, the future is a really, really sticky thing. And yeah, there's gonna be a lot of barriers like that are gonna try to, kill us off. But as long as we try to keep focus on what actually matters, I think that whatever decision we eventually make, I think it would benefit us. Might not be the best decision, but I think it will definitely, if we try to manage our resources efficiently, it'll definitely get us somewhere.
All right, I like that actually. Yeah, so there we had a lot of points come up, technological, economical, financial, moral and ethical, and I'm really happy with how the discussion went. So thank you so much, Hazik and Stephen, and obviously Mihir and Vedant and Varun, the catalyst, for putting on your views. I will just say, we could also go to the moon because Andy Weir has like another book
Stop it.
about the moon. But we have to move on now, unfortunately, because we are getting to our first game, and this is an auction. Let me just quickly tell you how it's going to work, right? So we've decided 4 items, and essentially we're going to go through each of those 4 items. If you are registered on the CFR Discord in a team, you will get the item kind of like shown to you in your team. If you haven't registered, it's very simple. You can go on to our Discord server, cfrproject.org/discord, quickly register yourself as a team by just typing /register and then your name and your email ID, and you'll be able to participate, right? You get 4 items. You have to essentially bid a price for that item, right? You can attempt to kind of confuse the others about what price you're bidding, but the aim is to bid a price as close to the mean value, to the average value of all the other bids. All right. So if the average value of the bids is like 10,000, right? And you bid 9,000, you're going to get more points than if someone bid, let's say 14,000, because that's way off, right? And the guests, right? Hazik and everyone else, your role essentially is to just confuse the audience, make them bid more, make them bid less, talk about the item, just persuade them. And so, yeah, let's probably, let's go into the first item. All right. So the first item here, tech support, just let us know when you're ready to kind of send across the item.
Tech support is on the case. We've got the
Just the
focus spaces on. They're looking so hard this thing. I mean, if we just have to sit on a chair and talk. They have to sit on a bed, which is more uncomfortable than a chair.
Oh, no.
With all the pillows and all
they have
the
to like use a computer.
the blanket. I mean,
It's difficult.
yeah.
It's a hard
It's
job.
hard not. It's hard being not on camera.
They're telling us to stall because they're gonna need some time.
We're supposed to.
That's
Come on,
okay.
yeah.
No, we've been too hard. on
Have
it.
you guys read either any of these books? You have another book right here hidden. It's
I like that cover.
brief on. Yeah, it's very nice.
I hate it when they put like people's faces on a cover, like this.
I mean, it's pretty good.
No, it person like you get a description of.
Who's
the character.
who's that actor? What is he?
I,
Does anyone know? Does anyone remember who this is?
yeah, can you type their name in the chat?
I've been in the chat, everyone.
I think it's with an A.
Wait, hang on, it says.
Oh,
that
it's here.
It says music by, no, what?
Anyone know who that actor is? Stephen, do you know who that actor is?
It's Matt Damon.
Oh, it's Matt Damon. There you go.
Wait, that's not.
Leonardo DiCaprio, of course.
Yeah.
This guy,
I
it's my favorite Matt Damon movie.
have not read this book yet.
You have not.
I have
Well
not. Have you read
done.
it?
I have not.
You sounded so surprised. I thought you were like.
I mean, if you have the book, read it. Come
It's
on.
like an aesthetic book, you know, you keep it on your
Yeah.
bookshelves to make them.
Big,
look nice.
big answer.
Look at this. I read Stephen Hawking, guys.
Yeah.
Guys, you just casually have like a whole library under your table. Like you just
Yeah, actually,
pulling out books.
Just the sci-fi books. If you joined us yesterday, we had a lot more stuff. We had like the wands from Harry Potter. We had like a Dumbledore, like
Yeah.
bobblehead.
We didn't have that.
We
We
did.
did, we did, we did.
We did?
The Dumbledore, yeah.
Wait, let me see if I can go get it.
No, without left the set.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, this is just like in one of our rooms. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
maybe-
Dumbledore.
Look at this, guys. This is Dumbledore. It's not really bobbling, so kind of a disappointing, but
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like break it neck.
Okay, we are ready. Thank you, tech support.
Oh no, the light.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's start with the
Okay.
first item. All right. This is a checklist from the original Apollo missions. All right. Yeah. So this is from the personal collection of Apollo 11 from the lunar module. Buzz Aldrin, the second person to step on the moon after
Second person.
second, right?
Imagine being like the second
What's a
person
second
though.
person?
Like that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
It's better than.
He signed it, right? So you would have all received an image that kind of shows that checklist. It's been signed by him. It's the stuff written on the checklist by him. It's one of a kind because Buzz Aldrin only went to the moon once, I
Yeah,
believe.
but it's just
Don't
a
fact
list.
check me. Probably once.
Yeah, but it's just a list. I mean,
It's a list, but it's signed.
if I- if
It's
I
like it
get
has stuff on
mine-
it.
Well, I mean, you know how much people pay for like Pokemon cards?
Okay, and here's the thing, right? We're gonna bid around 10,000 for this, I think.
Oh, shit.
$10,000, yeah.
If I wrote a shopping list, right, and I just checked it off and then I wrote my name on it, would you buy that for 10,000?
There's a difference.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, my point is that 10,000 is ridiculously overpriced, and I would suggest everyone watching to be like
that checklist went to,
8,000.
that checklist went to the moon.
8,000.
That checklist went to the moon.
So?
You know, that
It's-
checklist
it's
is probably worth more than
significant.
all of us combined.
No.
I mean, probably.
How much are you worth?
I'm actually not sure. That gets into-
That is such a capitalist thing to say.
Yeah.
I should add.
Wait, no, slavery isn't capitalist. No, it's
Isn't it?
no,
I
it's
don't think
not.
we're allowed to talk about this, avoid the
So-
topic. But okay.
All right, so 10,000. Now, how many bids do we have coming in? We're gonna need tech support to let us know when to move on to the.
That's what we're doing.
How's it going, tech support?
Next report is really not moved on yet. I guess if it's into the name. we don't get any-
Yeah, we can always name them. We're in the discussions.
Yeah,
that'd
okay.
be
Yeah.
cool.
Either way, my point is that like a piece of paper which is signed, which has a checklist on it, was nowhere near 10,000, maybe 8,000.
$10,000.
I say bid low.
When we were deciding the prices, the starting prices, it was about like, I think it was like 10% of the actual price of the item sold for.
Really?
That item sold for a lot of money.
100,000.
I don't remember what it was,
How about a million?
but it was really big.
No, I say
It was
bid
really-
low, and what do you say?
Okay, it's not a million, that's stupid. I'm gonna go with like, how much did that Charizard Really not that experienced with
I feel like we should just use this computer because it's just.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. This is where we like flex,
yeah.
the fancy shiny.
Oh, yeah,
computer.
so Bhavya got like a 14-inch.
No, we are not gonna, we're not gonna like advertise for Apple. They don't need it. They're not that good.
All right. That's
Oh, yeah, also this event is powered by solar panels,
Oh yes, it is powered by solar panels.
which is pretty cool.
Which yeah, so it's like no carbon footprint. You know, all the lights in this studio. I call just referring to this room as a studio. Love that.
True.
It's a bedroom. Yeah.
And very fittingly, it's incredibly hot in here.
Oh,
Like to the point where maybe later on I might have to ask tech support to get me some water. Not yet, don't worry.
all right, tech support. Are we ready to move on to the next item?
Yes.
All right.
So I'm getting up to get you one.
Okay,
We
fine,
don't
do
need
it.
water. I'm just trying to figure out
Tech
how
support
to
is
connect our camera.
Let me dry if you want.
Okay, that's how we connect our camera to this. FaceTime. Look at that. Hi.
Whoa, oh, this looks.
I
We
This
will.
is a bad camera angle. Delete it.
Also, I just want to say Canada's not tech support department. That's obvious fault. So they will-
That's
Running
really
back
not my
and forth.
fault. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
I think, Bhavya, I think you should be tech support.
I was way better at this. We did not face any of these issues yesterday.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's
tech support.
That's really sorry. I was in the balcony, but I think we should move on to the next question.
There
and
is
not talk
civil
about that.
war. But okay. Next
All right,
question.
now the next item that you guys have to bid for. Let me just actually take a look at what it is. It's in the Zoom chat. Oh yes, the computer. Do you guys know the story about like how the Apollo computer from the Apollo missions?
Oh, it didn't work, right?
No, it did work. It was just really, really bad.
What did it do?
Like compared to like today's standards, it was just not powerful at all. It didn't have like capabilities,
It had to be
and
like
they
in the
went to
room,
the
right?
moon. Yeah, which is
How
pretty
big was
incredible.
it? How big
Let
was it?
me read this out. So the
How much?
Apollo guidance computer is one of just 75 groundbreaking machines made by NASA. It was the first computer built using integrated circuits. The first computer built using integrated circuits. That's really
If we
cool.
knew
That's
what those
pretty
were, we
crazy.
would be much more impressed.
Hazik, do you know what integrated circuits are?
Yep. It's
That's
the
Yeah.
Huh?
The black chips, right? So that was the first computer
Yeah.
that was used in the world. And it helped
And-
MIT researchers pioneer ICs. So yeah, they were pretty cool. And what are we start? Okay, we are starting to bid for the item at 150,000.
150,000.
150.
You could get like
I'm gonna say 500,000.
500,000.
500,000.
Hazik, how much would you spend on on the Apollo guidance computer if you had all the money in the world?
I don't know. I would spend about maybe 10 million to like inflate the economy.
Just 10 million.
That's money laundering. That's
No, but-
ridiculous.
You can't even fit the money though. That's great.
Wait, don't we
Oh,
already have
selfless.
enough of inflation?
We have people that are starving. Come on.
Yeah.
I would say like $200.
200.
It wasn't like
How a computer in $200?
Willing.
the RAM of the Apollo computer is like about like 30 kilobytes or something.
Okay, what do you
You have like 30 kilobytes of RAM. That's like barely anything today. You can't even run Mario on that. It's
I am-
levels of
I can run like all on that.
I'm so impressed that they went to like the moon in that computer.
Yeah, my grandparents are like, back in my day, we used to go to the moon and back on our way to school.
Do we go on to the
And
next
here
question?
we are spending thousands on this year.
yeah, and like here PC is like it can't even open like Chrome with 16 GB. It's so
Yeah.
$729,429.
Seven.
$729,429. You, sir, are very specific.
Yeah, that is
That-
really specific.
That does feel fishy. Is that money
Yeah.
laundering?
I don't know. It just feels really weird. Why would you?
We
Is
can
that
see
a
you.
significance? 72949.
I don't know.
No, it's just irresponsible financial skills.
All right, so we move on to the next item. Okay, cool. So the next item that we are bidding for is Luke Skywalker's original lightsaber from the 1980, the original.
Oh, those
trilogy.
things like sell for a lot.
This is the original prop. It was used by Mark Hamill during the production of the trilogy, and it's still apparently in really good condition.
What are we starting off at?
We are starting off at just 10,000, which
Just
seems
10,000?
yeah, which seems ridiculously low for
So
this
what you're
kind of
saying
item.
is that 100,000 was the final bid.
I don't know what the founder was. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
But it was, yeah, it was more than 10,000. It was just like, okay, that lightsaber. If you had it with you right now in your hand,
It would be a very good prop.
would you swing it around?
Yeah. Why is there any question? It's a lightsaber, Mugga.
What if
Come
you,
on.
what if you break it?
Yeah, so it's a
You
lightsaber.
guys know that like the light isn't actually.
Also, you know they used to break.
Stephen, Stephen wants to say something. Hi, Stephen. What would you do with that lightsaber?
I would do the logical thing and put it in a case, lock it, double lock it, and spend $1.5 million on a case on top of that. Because that is
Ew.
like,
Now
is that
like
Actually, so I was
Yet, like, how will you even see the thing if you put it in a cage?
listen, all right, I didn't specify what type of case I would get. Like, it could be see-through, it could be bulletproof. I'm getting both, that's for sure. But like generally, you have to understand. Mark Hamill did that, or actually held the thing, and that was the early generation of CGI and computing engineering in itself. They didn't
That's
even have any computer interference in that. If you swing it, I will.
All right, it's a fair point. Hear me out though. So in the first Star Wars movie, there's whenever you see the lightsabers hit, there's a reason why the entire screen goes green, and that's because they actually had to cover up like that specific frame because the sabers used to like break when they hit each other.
Oh,
Which means that that thing's already been broken a ton of times. It really doesn't matter at this point, you know?
I don't think it was an actual lightsaber.
Yeah.
I guess it's got history. I guess.
Plastic thick.
Not sure if you're aware, but
It's
like,
more than a
the
plastic.
light wasn't actually a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like they used to cut like they used
Is that
to,
why he said he wanted to swing it around? So you could like cut all of us.
no, what?
So we have an interesting bid. I feel like this might be the same person who just bid 3,916,594 for that item.
Oh, this
I
person
hope
knows
to
something that
God
we
you never
don't.
become like finance minister, you know?
Oh my god.
You need to bid when you're bidding. Let me tell you the actual bid of this item.
bid
200,000. 200. Yeah, bid depending on like what the others are going to be bidding. Because to win, you need to bid a price that's similar to the other bids essentially.
You know what
The
I would
most
do?
like the most similar to the average bid.
You know what I would do if I
You know what he's doing?
the
He's just pulling the average towards him.
clever. You know what I
We
would
shouldn't
do?
have said that out loud because that's what I was thinking when this competition started.
You know what I would do if I had
Don't.
you know what I would do if I had the lightsaber?
Or
So you know that scene in Force Awakens where like, oh sorry, Last Jedi, where like Luke takes the lightsaber and then just throws it away. That's what I would do.
throw it away.
Wait,
Wait, which?
guys, can you bid a negative number?
Can you bid a negative number?
This is a question for
Yeah,
tech.
now like you just like
You can
But
bid
you-
a negative number. You can offer to receive money. automatically.
just paying the company to receive like you just the
Oh.
company's paying you to take the lightsaber at this point.
Wow. All right. Let's move on to the next item
Well.
then. The next item, and this is the final item. So you will, I believe you'll get the results of the auction by probably today or by tomorrow. We'll let you know who kind of won. It's a meteorite. All right. And this meteorite weighs 140 kilograms. How much do you weigh?
39, 40-ish. Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
so wait,
Okay.
why would this be worth so?
So
Is it, like,
it's
special?
it's very rare.
It's
Okay.
just a bunch of old things.
It's okay. It's
Like
it was found in Africa, and it was formed because of the crystallization of molten iron and nickel. All right. These meteorites are some of the most ancient things in the universe. And honestly, if I could like show you how it looked right now, because I do know how it looks. It looks pretty incredible. Let me.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
Let me try to
I think
show
this
you.
this is going to be worth less than
Look
Luke
at that.
Skywalker's
Look at that.
lightsaber.
Look at that.
Like that's. the
Look at
way
how
the world is.
beautiful that meteorite is.
I mean, it's a
That's-
funny rock.
That's true. It's a
It's
funny
a
rock.
funny rock from outer space.
That kind of describes like the entire world, though, right?
That-
Like it's a funny rock. Like
Fair
even the
enough.
Earth
Yeah,
is just a funny rock.
All of us are rocks. you
No,
know.
we're not.
No.
Wait, what? Are we rocks?
We're made of the same.
I feel like we need to go back to chemistry class.
Yeah, we do.
No one likes chemistry. I'm sorry if there are any chemistry lovers watching this.
That's
This,
sorry,
okay. But this is basically just like, just for the shape alone, It's
No,
really-
not for the
But
shape.
I mean, for the
Heaviness.
for the concept, I would like shell out $1 million for that.
$1 million.
What are we starting on? again?
We are starting the bid at, let's take a look. What is the bid starting at? $50,000.
What?
That's a rock solid number.
It's a rock on. Oh,
But
yeah, someone just said that. It's being, okay, that is,
I'd
50,000.
probably bid like
$1 million.
500,000.
now that would be a better prop for us on set than the.
Yeah, why didn't Bhavya, why didn't you just buy the
Buy the-
meteorite?
Also, a better usage of money than a lightsaber. That's true.
Yeah, who can carry 140 kilograms?
Well, I mean,
You've
you
been
could say, like
doing
everybody would
weights.
do it together.
No,
You've been
140,
doing
140 kilograms.
Everybody would do it together.
140 kilograms, that's like, dude, 140 kilograms.
People bench press 140.
No, they
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm
no,
pretty
we
sure, I'm
would
pretty
all
sure
like
people,
lift
I'm pretty sure
it.
people like lift like 400 kgs. I'm not sure.
I think it's 400 pounds.
400
It's like,
Different.
that's
I
like
don't
how to
know,
lift
I
a
don't know.
panda showing you.
I have like,
Don't destroy the set.
Never mind. The
Ah.
highest somebody has lifted is 130.
I have like,
That's my point.
I have like
That's my
3 kgs with me right now,
Oh,
and it's already pretty heavy.
I'm so strong. Okay.
Why has this
Okay.
turned into us doing girls on calls?
Yes,
I
it
don't know.
should.
Oh God. Yeah, give that back. So yeah, this
Oh,
is
sorry.
3 kilograms,
Yeah,
right?
that is quite heavy.
The meteorite is basically 40, what, like 43? No, 40 like 6, something. I can't do math. It's like 45 of these.
So if we
Can you
just got
imagine
like
that?
46 people each to carry one of those, we should be fine.
You'd have to break it though.
Yeah, if only we could do that for the game show.
It's like Lego.
Do we know 46 people though?
True.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Are there 46 from?
What?
one for each
Yeah,
chromosome. Lovely.
Because
Oh.
one person is made up of one chromosome.
Stephen, you'd like to say something?
I was just thinking about the asteroid. Now, honestly, what I would do honestly is I'd take it and like probably get a truck or something, put it in there. Then afterwards, companies are gonna come to me because they want the asteroid, right? They want part of the asteroids. Like there's this phone company that legit took a part of the moon and put it in the phone case itself. They used a piece of Titanic. They used a piece of like things like that. So if I take the thing, they're gonna give me more money for it, and just profit. And I'll just keep a little bit by
Like,
myself.
Asteroid's a moneymaker. You could
That
like
is a
open
good
open
point.
up a museum, display the asteroid. and
That is
people-
Exactly.
Or you could cut the asteroid into a bunch of different pieces, and then you could say each of them are individually one of the oldest pieces of the universe, and then you could sell them off to like billionaires. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Can you imagine like melting that asteroid and just like turning it into a metal ball?
Why would you do that? Why?
I mean, it's
No.
what they did with like the pieces of the Titanic and stuff, like
Yeah.
Wait, but
losing
there's
it,
a
I'm not sure.
Titanic sank
But
like
that's
100
what they
years
said.
ago.
All right. Well, anyway, I am sorry to interrupt you. We are running a little bit low on time because we
Oh,
have some stuff
no.
to do.
Oh.
So we will move on, right? All 4 items, the bids have been placed, I believe. Have they? Okay, the bids have all been placed. That is amazing. Let us move on to the next stall talk. All right. And I'm going to share my screen once more. And I shall, let's see, share everything. There we go. And we shall play the stall talk. No, this is the one that we've already played.
Yeah.
Tech support, screen support. What is this?
Screen support. I don't believe I have that open.
I
Is
don't
it?
think we put as much effort into this one, did we?
This
This
was the
one, yeah,
which
this
we
is-
edited today morning, wasn't it?
We edited this today morning. That's right. And we got it done. And that's
Gonna
really
see a
amazing.
noticeable drop in quality.
It's not bad though. All right, let's take a look.
All right.
Advocates for social justice have been debating this one word for centuries. A word that can split apart communities, create conflict, but also encourage justice. Blame. Blame in climate activism calls to mind heated panel discussions, policy, long research papers, and even longer op-eds. Asking who to blame
All right, I believe the audio is coming, but the video is not coming. So we're just going to restart that and let's share the entire screen this time. Get your legs off my table.
Sorry.
Advocates for social justice have been debating this one word for centuries. A word that can split apart communities, create conflict, but also encourage justice. Blame. Blame in climate activism calls to mind heated panel discussions, policy, long research papers, and even longer op-eds. Asking who to blame for an issue as large and complex as the climate crisis is asking to point fingers at anybody, because everybody can be blamed. In Wall-E, where the human civilization was evacuated from our planet because of how full of garbage it was, any of the people who had ever thrown out a piece of trash could be blamed for the state of the earth, and therefore all of them could. But in real life, we don't throw our garbage into the ecosystems of endangered life. We give it to garbage collectors. We give it to organizations who buy and sell the trash that ends up in our landfills. Maybe the more appropriate question to be asked is whether the blame completely lies with individuals. Aren't institutions and organizations as much to blame? In The Martian, Mark Watney was left behind on Mars due to a combination of factors. A sandstorm, yes, but also being overlooked by the rest of his crew and the team back on Earth. But blaming NASA or the crew for this isn't fair. Could any of them have had even the wildest suspicion that Watney would survive? And if not, is that so wrong? Just like there's nobody that we can blame for earthquakes or volcanic eruptions, in some circumstances, it's easier to focus on what people did do to solve the problem, rather than the problem itself. The actions of Wall-E, Eve, and the people who worked on saving the Earth were equally as important, as were the actions of Watney and NASA engineers that helped him survive on the red planet. Credit is essential. So, if we take both blame and credit into account, who deserves it? Do institutions or do individuals? In Star Wars, is it as simple as praising the rebellion and blaming the Empire? There are so many forces at play, so is it more nuanced than that? We can blame the Empire for its discrimination, its involvement in murder and its support of slavery. And we can blame the rebels for expecting everyone to die for their cause and their hypocrisy. But we can also credit both. The Galactic Empire ended the destruction of the Clone Wars and the corruption of the Republic, while the Rebellion was doing its best to fight a tyrannical government. We can also pin most of this on individuals. We can't blame the Empire for people dying when those who killed them are at fault. Likewise, it wasn't the rebellion trying to crush the Empire, but rather the tiny people along the way who contributed and moved them a little bit closer to their goal. And the rebellion can't be blamed for its hypocrisy when it was really the hypocrisy of its members. In real life, blame and credit is a complicated web of intentions, actions, and impacts. Some have better intentions, while others have greater impacts. With this in mind, who do you think deserves blame and credit? Do individuals or do institutions?
All right, so that's a pretty hot topic. We're basically asking, do we get to blame people, individual people, or do we get to blame and credit organizations? Right? Because it's an important discussion in climate change that's always been about how many times individual people are kind of scrutinized for their actions, even though the greatest impacts in climate activism, in climate change, are contributed to by large organizations, right? Is it up to us as individuals to fix social issues, or is it up to governments and industries to take the first steps and fix them? Varun the capitalist.
Yes, Vedant.
Vedant, sorry, I forgot your name. What is your stance?
Okay, so I think institutions like governments, corporations, organizations are pretty much representative of the section of society that they control, that they operate, or that they represent, right? Like governments and like governments and corporations. So I think blame really takes place on individuals, and in those individuals, I think we should really look at those who either hide information from the public or actively go on campaigns to go against what the public really wishes. So I think when we look at that, we can look at like oil executives, right? We're okay with me calling out people here, right?
Maybe not individuals, or maybe not companies, just in general.
Okay,
oil
like
executives.
oil executives or managers of large financial centers. large transportation companies. I think we can look at those as people who have blocked out a lot of information and gone on campaigns. So those are the people to blame.
Okay, Mahid.
Wait, I'm still confused. So are you arguing for individuals or for?
Individuals, but those who are at the very top
Right, okay.
and benefit from the system.
I think there are some valid points which Vedant made. I do think that ultimately an individual is in control of their actions when they're like an oil executive or the head of a major transport firm. But at the same time, I believe that institutions, when they are set up by individuals to run on natural exploitation and things like that, you can't blame it on the individuals anymore. You have to start blaming it on the institutions, and the institutions have to take responsibility as well. I'm not sure how to phrase my thoughts exactly, but in general, I think that the main point is that institutions are bigger than the people who work for them. And in a similar sense, they have to take in more responsibility. If I'm a worker at a company, I don't need to feel responsible for, let's say, something bad which they've done. I don't need to feel responsible for that. But the institution itself does have to take responsibility, and thus, in terms of climate change and natural exploitation, they definitely need to take responsibility.
All right, Hazik, I'm going to ask you to kind of give your perspective as well. Do you think that, climate change, the reason that it's being caused, the reason that, the people who have to fix it are individuals and or organizations? What do you have to say about that?
So there's this I definitely think it's a mix of both. There's this concept that I recently, like, for one of my English projects which I wrote about. It was the concept of the modern dystopia, where, like most dystopias, like which was written like for the 21st century, such as like will focus more on like the evils of like the one in charge, right? The big brother in the sky, the government being the source of all evil and suppressing freedom and individuality, and etc. etc. But nowadays, like if you see, most writers are shifting to like the problem lying with us being ignorant, us trying to stick our heads inside the mud to like and being oblivious to all our problems. Like have you guys watched Squid Game, right? So there's these so in Squid Game, I mean, if you not watched it, spoilers ahead. There's a group of people who are actually watching all the participants take part in the games, right? And actually watching them die. And then the way they justify it is because like in the first episode, all the contestants choose to leave. But then in the second episode, they actually come back so there's this illusion of choice where actually like the viewers, they justify it by they chose to be here, right? Or so it's kind of this ignorance which it's a similar situation with us. We have this kind of ignorance towards all our problems. We think it's not affecting us because it's not at our doorstep. It's we choose to keep taking convenience over thing, and we choose to like keep festering these huge organizations and these huge things because we think that it's not us, it's actually the organizations which do more harm, right? And that justifies us in like using cars or using straws because we think that organizations have a much bigger role, when in fact it's our ignorance that like helps them flourish. So I think it's definitely a mixture of both. One really influences the other. Like our ignorance helps fester these huge organizations, and these huge organizations, well, we use them, so it helps increase our climate change thing, global, our carbon footprint.
Yeah, that's interesting because that way, I mean, what Harsh is saying is that it makes the issue a lot more complex, a lot more gray.
Yeah,
It's not just individuals and organizations.
but
It's both of them.
I'm going to disagree on some parts there. Because I know Hazik said that we do all have a responsibility because we are the ones who tolerate organizations which affect the climate so badly, which exploit nature, which exploit the world. But at the same time, I don't think for a lot of people, we don't have a choice. Like take vegans, not everyone can afford to go vegan because vegan foods are generally more expensive. If we look at some other issues as well, like I know there's a lot of talk about how some people say that you shouldn't purchase products from China, but look around, nearly everything in this room is probably made in China. There's not much choice for consumer. So in that regard, I wouldn't say that individuals have to feel that responsible because they ultimately don't have the power unless you're referring to them as a collective group, which I would then argue is more similar to an institution than a group of individuals. On the other hand, institutions, companies like Amazon, they have the power, they have the finances, they have the authority to maybe be making the choices which we wish we could. And so I suppose with that regard, you could argue that it's more on institutions and less on people.
So people might have, as you said, better intentions, but not
No means of executing them.
exactly. So, taking action is harder. Institutions, for them, taking action is way easier, but the intentions, obviously are driven by capitalism.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna.
I want to
have
have Stephen speak because he's been raising his hand. I'll
Yeah.
get back to you after that. Stephen, what do you have to say?
I was just thinking about what you guys were saying, and actually, like you can't. There's like so many aspects when it comes to it. For example, like when it comes to us as individuals in the 1930s, 1920s, or not 1930s, 1920s. Sorry, the centuries, the 19th centuries, the 18th centuries, right? We barely had any sort of like technology or any type of thing that was kind of damaging climate change, other than maybe campfires, right? Maybe that, but that's because of light. But when it comes to like as the time grows, right, we had opportunities to make our life easier, and then therefore caused because of these individuals and societies, and therefore the increase of popularity as well, population as well, caused it to make people to use it more, and therefore cause global warming. However, right, that given that we have the choice, we chose to use that to make our life easier. At the same time, the overuse of like what do you call the rise of population and using the resources to make it easier because of the rise of population causes the more production to be caused, because higher in demand causes higher resources, right? Or higher resources to be used, and therefore causes more climate change to be caused, and therefore more gas emissions as well into the atmosphere. So at the same time, we chose to go that way, but at the same time we can't help it because our population is rising. It's a need. I mean, how many people need cars? We can't walk. Before we used to use horses and carriages, right? To go into a different like a valley, into like using cars and trains and airplanes to go into different populations, we need those things in general, because the amount of like the distance from one place to another is quite a bit. But at the same time, the rise of population causing a large amount of gas emissions to come, and therefore making it harder for people to like make causing more problems into the earth, and therefore damaging the ozone layer. So like these things are, you can't really determine because they're like two different aspects in itself.
I just want to plug in the rest of the CFR episodes just very quickly, because we are discussing population control and urbanization more in detail next week. I believe on the 18th, the one with Disney, and that'll be really interesting. We're also discussing human evolution. Okay, we will have to quickly wrap up this discussion. Vedant, I know you had something to say, so you can go ahead, make your final point.
I just want to quickly say, I love
Yeah.
how Disney is its own category. You've got the one with magic, you've got the one with sci-fi, and you just got the one with Disney.
The
I
one
think
with Disney,
Everything is owned by Disney.
the
Yeah.
one with Disney and the one with Marvel are their own.
They're the
Yeah,
same
that's
thing,
right.
but
Yeah,
they're
actually the
Yeah.
same. And sci-fi, Star Wars is actually owned by Disney.
Yeah, Star
Oh,
Wars is owned by
that's
Disney,
right.
Marvel is owned by Disney.
they are taking over.
Ah.
It's crazy.
Stop
So,
them. Wait, we're gonna be blacklisted by now.
So,
Yeah.
actually, am I allowed to call out historical figures like?
Yeah,
dead?
sure,
They're dead.
sure.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So I want to say, like, even the companies and organizations that you were talking about, Mia, they're still headed by people who very much knew what they're doing. And we can go back even 100, 200 years. At the start of the Industrial Revolution, there's a lot of just different pieces of poems and artwork where people, where people don't necessarily know what's going on in numbers. They can't say,
Climate
the-
change is
the
happening.
concentration of CO2 is, but like, it's very clear if you go back and read those, they know something wrong is going on. And that's just like, well, our cities are filled with smoke. That doesn't seem to be something that's normal. And
Yeah.
so even going back 100 years, you've got people like John Rockefeller and Henry Ford, who knew very, very much what they're doing, and more recent corporations, which knew exactly how they were harming the world. But as says, like, there's, I don't know, some corporation in 1980 and 1982, which conducted some study. But that was also headed by a CEO and a small board of directors with a chairman, right? The point is, these corporations are still ruled, or governments are still ruled by a certain set of people. And even if it's harder to pin down because they did it through the guise of an organization, I think we shouldn't be fooled. There are people at the very bottom who are supporting the structure who don't make decisions, and there are people at the very top who do not support the structure but make the decisions, and we should hold them to blame.
Accountable.
All right.
Fair enough.
That's very interesting. Would not think of you approaching the problem as a capitalist from that stance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of agree with you. But I also really like Hazik's point about how it's interconnected. I think that, I mean, I feel like this, social pressure, people acting on these issues really kind of forces change, or is it like kind of
Pushes change. in the
yeah,
right direction.
yeah. I mean, it makes it a conversation. Definitely something that's happened with climate change.
Yeah,
So yeah.
as evidenced by us being here.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, we'll leave you to think about that talk topic, where blame belongs. It's really interesting. You might not always be to blame, but you can play your role and kind of receive the credit for helping be a part of fighting this issue. We're going to move on to the quiz. Tech support. Are you guys awake?
Wow, right on time.
How do we play the quiz? Okay, there is a quizzes link that's been sent in chat.
You should not be clicking.
I should not be clicking that.
No,
Can I take a look at the leaderboard?
no, not from here.
How do I look at the leaderboard?
Other tab.
Oh, okay. Tech support will share the leaderboard. That's amazing. Thank you. I want to play the quiz though.
No,
no.
you can't. We have
Wait, can I play the quiz?
At this point, I don't think any of us remember the answer.
I
Oh,
do.
Fair.
all right, Hasik, you can play the quiz. The other people in this meeting, we'd love you to play the quiz as well. Some very interesting questions in there. It will really test your knowledge of space and of sci-fi. All right. Hey, there we go. That's the quiz link.
Yay. It's on screen.
Yep. The link to the quiz is in the chat.
My back is-
But how about we switch chairs?
Yeah, you
We're
want
not switching chairs.
Yeah.
I like the chair.
I'll bid for it. Can I at least adjust mine?
$200.
Oh, no.
Can I at least like adjust mine a bit?
That's a very expensive chair.
My
Wait,
back
how
hurts.
much do chairs cost?
Like less than that, $200 is very expensive.
What's up?
I've like seen like thousands of dollars
Yeah.
for chairs, which is crazy.
I've seen like thousands of rupees for plates.
Please.
I hope the person in question isn't listening to us.
I don't think
I doubt he is, but you never know.
we should tell them that we brought that up.
Yes, we will. No one here is gonna have any idea what we're talking about.
No one here knows at all. Yeah.
That's
the
it.
point of the set. You just make it
Yeah.
to exclude the audience.
Uh-huh.
Should we like start the quiz or
Are we?
Is no one
Start
joining?
empty.
start empty? Yeah.
Lovely.
Why don't we ask? the
Please
other
join.
set?
How are you guys doing today?
I'm gonna join the quiz.
It's a lovely day today.
It was a lovely day.
Is Hardik not joining? Is Hardik-
Hasek, join the quiz.
Join. We need some.
I did join the quiz.
You did join the quiz. Why is it?
Oh, wait.
Oh,
So apparently
dear.
people are there, but my screen is lagging.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
Okay.
God.
Uh-oh.
I thought we were gonna get embarrassed so badly with like 0 people.
I
People
can't
are
pass
guys,
it.
Okay, it's fine. It's just tech support
Wait.
being tech support.
No. Leaderboard.
Okay, he's reloading it.
It's refreshing.
All right.
Oh, I think it's so
Yeah, that's
refreshing.
good.
Oh,
Yay.
brilliant. All right.
6.
Let's do this.
Whoever wins this is the best.
Good luck, everyone.
High stakes.
Or,
5.
Are you
it's
playing the
going-
quiz?
I don't think so.
oh.
I hope not. Otherwise, that's gonna be really funny.
Yeah.
Do you think we can see the answer to the question? No, you guys can like discuss the question.
We can discuss the questions.
Lovely. Okay,
So
we have a leaderboard here.
we have a leaderboard. Brilliant.
Then you can go to questions and then we'll be able to see them from there. But don't, because I want to see it from you.
That's really interesting.
So people are saying.
You got disconnected.
Ah.
Yay.
Oh, this is really interesting.
We've
Okay.
got 75% accuracy so
Haze
far.
doing
Hazik, Stephen, and Atharv in the
That-
lead right
that.
now. Atharv from State Farms. I don't know where State Farms is.
probably somewhere on Mars.
No, State Farm is a
Yeah.
insurance company.
I know that.
Because, okay, so I follow the NFL and every single game they have this ad like,
Is the NFL like rugby or something?
just stop.
Rugby,
stop,
but like
stop.
armor.
Wait, football.
Yeah, it's football.
Rugby, but
He's
it's
American.
Basketball?
He's American.
No.
That's NBA.
NBA
NBA is basketball, NFL is National Football League.
football. So wait,
Yeah.
how is rugby and football different? Are they?
Rugby is
Very
like
different.
So they use the same ball though.
No, they don't.
almost the same ball.
A football is a foot long.
Wait. You mean like American football?
Yes, there is no other football. The other one is
American
called,
football isn't football.
the other one is called soccer, alright?
American football should be called
Why do you
that.
ignore that completely?
68% accuracy. The accuracy is
That's-
tumbling more. People are getting
Dude,
questions wrong. But
okay.
Atharv from State Farms is.
It's a hard quiz. It's a hard quiz. I'll be
is?
honest. It's a pretty hard quiz. Yeah,
Is it?
it's a pretty hard.
Whoa,
quiz,
we're
yeah.
seeing
Yeah,
TA. going-
Wait, why are you doing?
Wait, no, TA, you're not allowed to do
No,
this.
is it a good time to like tell them we made the quiz while we were sleeping or no?
Hang on, TA, you're the one
Tech
who made.
support does that.
Yeah, tech support does.
Yeah,
that.
make it
TA,
quiz.
That's
you
the one
need to
who's definitely like
deliberately get things wrong if you want to retain your
I'm going to
integrity.
remove K.
Can you please do that? Yeah. Can you
Remove him at the end.
can you
Let's see
show
how
us-
high
Can
he
you-
Left the quiz, guys.
No, wait, remove him like at the end, like
Oh, yeah,
last
and
question.
let's see him climb to the top and then.
can you show us the questions? I would like to like, discuss some of the interesting ones.
Alright, let's do
I
this.
mean, we're gonna be giving the answers away.
You
We
know, we're
won't-
kind of
we won't
experts
give
on this topic, right?
What?
Like, we're kind of experts.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Experts. Oh my god.
Which
So,
is not.
People are getting this wrong. People are getting the really specific ones wrong. The Interstellar. Where does Star Wars take place? Okay.
Oh, come
You
on.
got that wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
It's at the start of the film.
Yeah, it literally is.
I got that
Every film
wrong.
has that.
It's at the beginning of every.
Yeah.
If you mess that up, then you're just hopeless.
Which is following a SpaceX aim. That's a hard
I
question.
don't like
What?
that.
That's a really
question.
hard question.
I
What was
don't
the
like
question?
that question.
Which of the following are is like SpaceX aims? And there are lots of like objectives related to space.
Send billionaires to space and leave everybody behind should be.
There are a few.
Money
There
laundering.
is one.
It's confusing. Can you go back to the questions, please? We're like, okay, Hazik and Atharv and Stephen, you guys are competing.
They're
in the
like-
top
But do you
three.
think I should remove J yet or no?
No, not yet.
Not until he's like actually doing
Yeah.
well.
Why are you guys like
Show us the question. Show us the questions.
Stephen Hazik and Atharv.
I wanna- I wanna
flip-flopping
show-
every single turn.
Oh
I think
yeah.
Stephen is a bit behind the other
The
two.
competition is real right now.
Yeah, Stephen has okay.
Competition
It's
is
close.
heating up.
It's close. It's close.
It would be like.
Chinmay is doing pretty well actually. He doesn't have too many questions.
Hasik
wrong.
is far ahead though.
Hazik.
No, not really.
No, but like I mean, look at the questions that got wrong though. Right? It's like Chinmay is doing well.
Yeah, but he's a cheater.
Yeah,
We
they
don't-
also came up with this thing.
Yeah, like
I will remind you this is being live streamed for the entire world.
the fact that Dhya got one wrong is
Was
actually.
there a question if you enjoyed this game show?
That's at the
Yeah,
end.
there was.
Yeah.
There is a.
You-
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a poll. It was supposed to be a poll, but all right.
We tried to be funny. Whoever wrote that question tried to be
All right.
funny.
You know what, guys? I'm gonna play this quiz from here.
No,
Let's go.
I'm gonna sabotage. you.
You can stop the music.
Yeah, mute the music. All right.
Alright, let's go.
We're gonna you guys are gonna have to so you don't know the quiz, you don't know the answer.
I don't know the.
You don't know the answer. You guys can discuss and see what one you
I
want.
think it's freaking sandstorms, lack
Yeah.
of oxygen and lack
Yeah,
of
let's.
food.
All right. We won't say whether we got them right or wrong. So don't
Can we-
react because we don't want others to know.
Can we just say it's lonely?
I am such a noble
It's
guest
like-
right now because I'm not reacting.
Double Jeopardy. Oh, and Razor. I've noticed that quizzes is just giving.
Oh my god, what is this?
I hate power-ups, like the new power.
Okay.
J is first. I think it's time we did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Double Jeopardy. Yes, I enjoyed it. Damn it.
Ah,
you didn't double jeopardize us.
let's move on.
Double
Let's move on.
jeopardize.
Okay. Why was Mark Watney left behind on Mars? What do you think is the answer to this?
They thought he died, I think.
They thought he died. No, his crew didn't like him. Just
Do you want to go with that?
no, that one.
We'll go with this one.
No,
No.
no.
Oh no!
You're a bad
This
person.
was to react.
That was pretty obvious.
God.
They're in the
That was
last
pretty obvious.
place.
Where does Star Wars? Did you remove the air?
No, it's still loading.
Oh,
Remove him.
where does Star Wars take place?
A future galaxy.
You don't need the
troubled-
options. You
A
don't
long,
need
a long
A
time.
future galaxy troubled by resource exploitation.
That sounds like when something's like troubled, by school, like we started by school, the galaxy troubled by school.
Wait, what if people are just like waiting for us to put the
weird.
answers?
Have you heard the tragedy?
Of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Oh my, I have not dropped any prequel references.
You have not.
Well, this is where the fun begins.
Remove.
K at 14,235.
Can you make more
And
people
we did
references?
it now.
Yeah.
Lovely.
You can make some more.
Goodbye,
You can
Thierry.
make more people. Oh, Ivan is playing as well.
I hate
Exciting.
SpaceX.
Okay.
Get out.
Yes, out. Oh, I'm
I hate SpaceX.
Oh,
So
no.
let's say deliver cheap orbital
Yeah,
payloads.
Oh, you hit your midichlorian count. is
which of these is not?
It's that one just because they're gonna be really expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like people would mess up on that question if they didn't agree.
It's
strongly.
a bad question. I don't like
Seriously?
SpaceX.
How many suns have that we have?
Well, if you remember from the.
This is getting out of
talk-
hand. Now there's two of them.
Hold on, this entire operation was your idea. Oh my god, I'm loving this.
True or false? Ethical theory gives us an obligation to stay and protect the earth.
Your midichlorian count is unusually. I don't know what reference I should do for this one.
Ethical
Oh, from my point of view, the system is wrong. Or no, from my point of view, the Jedi are wrong.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. Which one?
False ethical obligations can be suggestive.
Subjective.
Yeah, this is not the episode for that. Okay. How
Are you sure your glasses are working?
No,
are people doing on the quiz? It's okay, nice.
redemption
I'm
question,
very much
yes.
pleased.
We're gonna get this redemption question wrong.
What if we get this wrong and then we say,
Why
oh,
would you do
how
that?
could,
Why would you?
how
do
did
that?
this happen to
I
us?
don't
We're smarter than this.
Is that
Yes.
reference? For which movie?
It's from, I think, Attack of the Clones, yeah.
Yeah. Why did humans rebirth in Wall-E?
What do you mean, what's smart?
No particular reason. We're gonna give the blatantly wrong answer just because we don't want to spoil the quiz, but I want to show you the
Yeah.
questions. Oh, this is good. This is a good question.
Wait, there's an actual treaty
There
being
is,
made.
there's a treaty. I believe it was signed by most countries,
False,
like
it
most of the United Nations
promotes-
countries.
Wait, by the large populations of like all the human race or like specific countries?
I'm
yeah,
gonna
like
say
just
false, it
human,
promotes
yeah.
exploration for all mankind.
What would you say?
Why is one of them just a question? Who wrote that?
Where?
True, yeah.
Like the fourth one.
Wait, come on, what?
That is definitely
Yeah, that's a
Very
mistake.
tech,
We need to,
tech support.
we need to fix
Tech
that, man.
support, shame on you.
Who should be blamed for climate change?
Oh,
Cows.
cows.
Cows,
Cows.
sure.
Oh, okay, so for everybody who's watching,
Tech support.
check out the CFR YouTube channel
Yes.
for information on how your parts are killing the planet.
This is a really interesting question. I don't think you would know the answer to this because it's actually quite tricky.
I mean,
Okay.
plastic in our oceans would eventually completely degrade. Subway
what-
systems would eventually flood completely. Reduce marine acidity and noise pollution. Yeah, that would happen.
So let me just.
I don't think quick decline would.
So it's only just it's just these two.
Why not those
Okay,
two?
why not plastic?
It doesn't degrade. It becomes microplastic, and then it
Ah.
becoms nanoplastics.
No,
and
but if it
just
becomes
stays.
microplastic, it has degraded.
No. When it
Okay,
eventually
Said
it
completely.
degrades after like a million years, right?
I'm not. I don't think nanoplastic degrades. We could have Hasik, if you know about nanoplastic, let us know if like it degrades ever.
Who
What's the
directed
difference between
Uh,
micro and nanoplastic?
Technically it does degrade.
Okay.
It takes like lots of years.
high five for Vedant.
Okay, that's interesting. Nanoplastic does.
Which of these planets is most similar to the Earth? In what sense, though?
Yeah,
Every-
exactly.
in
In
every
what sense?
sense,
I
in
mean,
every
Mars, maybe
Pluto.
Pluto.
we win these, all right?
I feel like that should have specified in size or like in
Yeah.
atmosphere. Come on.
Why do humans leave? No particular reason, obviously.
Obviously, no. It was just like one day. It's like I don't like the Earth anymore.
Everyone wanted to leave.
And we finished
All
in,
right.
fourth place.
How are people doing on
Wait,
the
how
quiz?
are we doing?
How
Sorry,
are we?
seventh place, seventh
7-6.
place.
Okay, how's the quiz going? All right, we are almost done.
Hazik is
We are
in the
waiting
lead.
for Ivan. Hazik. Okay, this is interesting. So Chinmay and Athar got the same amount right. It's just that Chinmay did a little bit better because
Because quizzes is a stupid website.
Oh, God.
yeah, I love quizzes.
You love quizzes.
Yeah, exactly.
I do, yeah,
All
but
right, Ivan
How do you
has
know
just
who got-
overtaken
How do you know how
Kiara.
many correct some things?
So the green is correct.
Acha.
so what are the odds that Anu beats CFR?
Anu beat.
You got disconnected.
All right, we're just waiting.
Next word,
All right, it's almost time to end the episode. It's like 7:01. So we are
So
over.
we are gonna disconnect.
Yeah, next word, can we have some water?
All right. I think we should probably start ending it then. Since we're just waiting for Ivan to, I think, finish his last question. Are we?
Is any people that
Okay.
can sign in?
Well, we hope that you enjoyed this episode on Star Wars and on sci-fi. Vedant, get up, please.
Oh, you got my name correct for this.
Thank you so much for joining. We will be resuming next time, hopefully with the camera in place, and we will have to figure out some issues. We have, I believe it's the one. It's the one with T-Rex. All right, it's the one with dinosaurs. Tech support's gonna be on screen for the first time. Actually, I was tech support yesterday, kind of.
Wow.
I helped out.
Yeah.
a bit. I helped out a bit. Come on.
Listen to their best
Excuse
app.
me. I helped sharing the screen. Thank you so much for joining. See you next week. Make sure to
Alright.
get your friends to join and everything.
Goodbye.
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 All right, we're gonna switch to the ending.
Yeah, bye.
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 Thank you, Hasik, for joining. I feel like we should have thanked
Oh, yeah,
again.
Oh, yes,
Thank you so
Hassan.
much.
Oh, yeah. yeah, no
Thank you, Ivan.
Thanks so much. Thank you,
Stop
everyone.
movement. Thank you, everyone. I hope you
Yes,
enjoyed.
thank you.
Bye.
Wait, whose name?
Whose name? I don't actually know who name is.
For what?
His nameless. That's
All right.
ironic.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.